Hey everyone, welcome into our latest TDR Cannabis in 5 presented by FlowHub. I am your host, Shad Dales. Hope everybody survived this week. Man, was it a tough week on the markets. As the macro level continues uncertainty in cannabis, getting hit hard this week, and we need some updates on rescheduling, and this is what this latest episode is all about. But before we dive into it, first a quick word from FlowHub. FlowHub is the retail platform behind some of the best dispensaries in the United States. If you're an operator looking to scale, streamline compliance, and actually understand your customer data, FlowHub gives you the tools to do it. If you want to learn more, book a demo right now at flowhub.com. All right, let's get into it because I know a lot of people are getting very impatient because there's still no direction out of Washington. Because right now, today's episode speaks directly where things stand on cannabis reform, because here is the reality. It's now been 3 months since President Donald Trump signed the executive order directing the DOJ to expedite marijuana rescheduling, moving cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. And yet, here we are, end of March, and we're still waiting. Now, that delay is now starting to draw some attention on Capitol Hill. So this week, according to a new report from Marijuana Moment, Congressman Steve Cohen is now demanding answers directly from the DOJ. I'm all for that. He sent a formal letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi and DEA leadership asking a simple question: where is the update? And more importantly, what is the timeline in all this? Hello? That's what we want to know. So I know we're passionate about this, but let's take a step back for a second because this is important context for investors. Trump's executive order, which is signed back on December 18th, was never, as we know, the finish line. It was, though, directive. The president cannot unilaterally reschedule cannabis. That authority, again, sits with the DOJ and the DEA through formal rulemaking process. So if we look at this more closely, that process includes scientific review, proposed rule, public comment, potential hearings, and finally a published final rule. So even with an executive order, this is always going to take time. But the question remains, how much time? Because here is where things definitely get interesting in all of this. When you look at it more closely, Congressman Cohen isn't just talking about rescheduling. He's also pressing the DOJ on something else that's flown under the radar, and that is a missed federal deadline. Specifically, the DOJ failed to issue guidelines that were supposed to ease research barriers for Schedule 1 substances, which still includes cannabis today. So that is another thing to think about, because let's face it, that matters. Because one of the key arguments for moving cannabis to Schedule 3 is to expand research, and yet the existing system is still broken. So what Cohen is really signaling here is this: if the administration is serious about reform, then where's the follow-through in all this? So now, zooming out, this fits into a bigger pattern we've been talking about a lot on the show recently. The rescheduling process, yeah, of course, it's stalled, and that's despite the executive order, and that's despite the political momentum. And despite expectations, this would move quickly, would it not? Yeah, it would. In fact, multiple reports suggest the process is now tied up in legal and administrative complications, including potential appeals and broader regulatory review. International treaties is some of the stuff that we hear. What that means and how that works out is still my guess, but at the end of the day, that is the last thing that's holding this up. That's what we've heard, but yes, conversations have picked up tremendously over the last couple of weeks. So yeah, we could be at the 11th hour, and I know we're getting impatient, but man, let's get some sort of direction, update, and timeline outlined, because really that is the key investors are watching in this space right now, and how this whole sector is going to move, because the markets, they have not caught up with the fundamentals that are being produced. When we look back in December, we saw cannabis stocks move aggressively on the expectation that this would indeed happen fast. But fast forward 3 months, and now we're seeing the opposite. Man, volume has dried up, uncertainty remains, and delays are still very much intact. So really in all this, what should you be watching right now? Well, there's a few things. First, whether the DOJ responds publicly to this congressional pressure, that would be helpful, because really that could give us the first real indication of timing in all this. Will they get it? Doubt it. Second, any movement towards a final rule, because until that's published in the final register, well, it leaves us guessing and nothing has changed. And as well, cannabis, as we know today, is still scheduled a Schedule 1 drug. And third, potential legal challenges, because if rescheduling indeed moves forward, then guess what? Sam and the crew will file lawsuits shortly after, because there's a growing expectation that it will be challenged in court, though I don't think that's going to go anywhere. But bring that on as well, because the bottom line here today, the story is less about politics, it's more about execution. The executive order, it created momentum and real momentum, but that momentum right now without follow through, guess what? It's nothing. And that's where markets start to lose confidence, and that's exactly why we're in this situation right now, because ultimately the tape doesn't lie. That's what we're seeing. So that's it for our latest TDR Cannabis in 5. I know a lot of you are impatient right now. Let us know what you still think think of the space. Let us know when you think an announcement could be coming. Let us know your thoughts of the DOJ taking this much time. Leave your comments below. Love to get your feedback and keep this conversation going. As usual, stay connected with us here at TDR, so make sure to like, subscribe, and smash on that bell for all notifications. And a big thank you. We reached 70,000 subs this week, so again, big thank you for everybody that continues to log on to our YouTube channel, support us over the years as we continue to grow this audience. Next steps, we want to get to 100,000. So if you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe. Let's go, baby. All right, that's it for now. Enjoy your weekend. I'm your host, Shad Dales, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.
Tell me how you feel. Leave your questions, comments down low. Did you learn anything? If so, let me know.